So I woke up this morning with a mouse crawling across the wall 12 inches from my face. So that was an interesting way to wake up. Morning, campers. As you can see, it's cold, it's rainy, it's foggy. I'm just leaving Hightop hut. Started raining last night. I slept in the shelter for the first time, by the way. And started raining maybe 10, 11 o'clock. Rained all night, still kind of spritzy. It's just kind of a cold, damp morning. It's like a Pacific Northwest kind of weather. I got my rain suit on, head to toe. Trying to keep moving, trying to stay warm. My hands are numb. So not a lot of video today, probably because number one, I don't want to get my phone wet. Number two, I don't know how the audio will be with rain, possibly wind. Number three, it's hard to use the touch controls on a phone when your fingers are wet, your fingers are cold and numb. And I just want to keep moving, keep my body heat generating so I don't get cold. Certainly don't want to get hypothermic. That would be bad for obvious reasons. So I woke up this morning with a mouse crawling across the wall 12 inches from my face. So that was an interesting way to wake up. Doesn't seem to have gotten into my pack or damaged any of my gear. But it's one thing to think about when you're sleeping in a shelter. If you're sleeping next to the wall, mice can crawl on walls. So, yes, you don't have people on either side of you, but you might have a person on one side and a mouse on the other. I got 12.4 miles to cover, and I got to stop at Lewis Mountain Campground. I got to get some resupplies. I need an extra dinner and an extra breakfast, and I hear that they have a grill or lunch counter or something, so I might, who knows, I might be able to get a veggie burger or some hot soup or who knows what. Well, I just crossed Skyline Drive. I had to take off my rain mitts. My hands were warm, and the rain is mostly stopped. It's just kind of misty in the air, and there's a little bit of a drip coming off the trees. Weren't those deer cool, though? That was something else. I can't believe how close she let me get to her. This is one of the less fun parts of the Appalachian Trail. Crossing a bridge. Oh well. gotta do what you gotta do. I just hiked through the worst rainstorm I've ever hiked through. I've never hiked through rain like that. It just kind of tapered off just now. I'm still about 4.5 miles from Lewis Mountain Campground, which is where the camp store on the wayside is. I hiked my ass off. Then the thunder started rumbling. And there were a few flashes of lightning. Couldn't tell where they were coming from. And the thunder moved from west to east, right overhead. At one point, I could hear the thunder like rolling across the sky overhead. And the skies just opened up and it poured. And I am completely soaked. I don't know if I'm soaked through or not. My pack here is Robic fiber. It's not marketed as waterproof. It's marketed as water resistant, which means not waterproof. Oh my God. So anyway, I hiked from about the 7.4 mile mark away from Lewis Mountain Campground to here, which is about 3 miles farther. I hiked faster than I've ever hiked before. I hiked my ass off. The trail was flooding out, covered in water and mud. Oh my God. That was brutal. I thought it was just going to be pouring rain the whole time for the next 4 hours until I got to the campground. But it just stopped. Holy crap. That was wicked. I hope it doesn't come back. You can see behind me, that's a valley back there somewhere, but it's all filled in with clouds. So, all right. Gotta make this final push for Lewis Mountain Campground. Right there, I gotta rest. I gotta get something to eat. I gotta warm up. I gotta dry out. That was killer. That was pretty rough. All right, well, it's type 2 fun, right? I just passed a hiker named Terrapin. He said the campground has no power. Apparently about 4 this morning, they lost power because of the storm. They don't know if a transformer blew with lightning or a tree came down over the power lines, but there's no power up there. So all those cabins have no lights. None of the laundry facilities are working. They can't run credit cards. They got nothing, which poses a slight problem because I was counting on that to get a small resupply. I need one dinner and one breakfast. If worse comes to worse, I can stop at Big Meadows Campground tomorrow and resupply there instead. So I got to think about this. And, I could make it to Big Meadows tomorrow and resupply there. But as long as I'm here, I'll go to Lewis Mountain, and if it's right off the trail, if it's real close, not more than a 5-10 minute walk from the trail, I'll pop in and say, hey, I got cash. I'd rather get the food now and be sure I got it rather than take a chance tomorrow. Who knows what'll happen tomorrow at Big Meadows. So that's my plan anyway. 3.8 miles, depending on the terrain. It's a good 2 hours of walking, maybe a little over 2 hours of walking. Maybe I'll get lucky and the power will be back on. They do have the generators on, but they're probably just using those to keep the minimal amount of lights on, to keep the freezers and refrigerators running, and all the vital infrastructure running. So I probably won't be able to use the facilities. I hope I can use the facilities. Hopefully the bathroom's open, but I guess we'll find out. So anyway, that's the skinny on that. You got to roll with the punches, folks. You never know what's going to happen. It's a big guessing game. I have to be quick because I don't know if someone's going to come in, but I am in the Lewis Mountain Campground bathroom, as you can see. Real running water and real, wait for it, flushing toilet. So I'm going to avail myself of the flushing toilet and the running water. Then head up to the camp store and see what they got in stock. But I made it. Whew. I'm cold and wet. As you can see, the camp store is closed. It's still raining, it's crappy and foggy. So I'm going to, I guess I'm just going to push on to the campsite, the hut, and well, at least I did get some free toilet paper out of the bathroom. Alright, that's it. Kind of a bummer. Looking forward to something warm to eat. And I'll have to just wait till I get to camp and make my dinner. That's the way it goes, folks.